Hi folks, Johnny B here. Welcome to the third online session of the Quay Arts Folk Club. Now, what with all the sweltering hot weather we had recently, I thought I might be sat here recording my introduction bits stark naked. But thankfully, what with the weather getting vaguely back to normal, you're spared that dreadful sight. Now, as I'm sure most of you know by now, the Quay has been able to reopen its cafe and gallery, and good news, as of a week ago, can also now start to look to plan some socially distanced indoor music events, which is all great news for us folks who love live performance. But of course, things are far from normal. It's been an extremely tough 6 months for all creative arts and music venues. So please, don't forget, Quay Arts is a charity, still needs our ongoing support. Well, we've got one heck of a lineup for you this evening with a fantastic headline spot from the amazing, the legendary, the one and only Eliza Carthy. Now that's got to be worth a donation of at least £5 ahead of anyone's money. But please, just donate what you can in return for enjoying tonight's concert. You can do this by following the online links or by posting a cheque to Quay Arts, mentioning the Folk Club. And you could also think about buying one of these wonderful Quay Arts Folk Club t-shirts as well. They're great. Just the thing you need for these summer days and nights. Well, to kick things off this evening, we've got a guest spot from an old pal of mine and someone who's well known to you all. He does a huge amount to support and promote folk and roots music on the island. As well as helping to organise these online events, he hosts a weekly folk show on Vectis Radio and plays in one of our top local folk groups second time around. And he's also a very talented solo performer. Indeed, if I could play guitar just half as well as he does, I'd be so happy. But sadly I don't, and in any case, I'm more than happy to sit back and bathe in the talent and the skill that is the wonderful John Hacker. So take it away, John.
Well, welcome everybody to the August edition of the Quay Arts Folk Club, and thanks John very much for asking me to play tonight. That first tune was Gymnopody #1 by Eric Carthy, written in 1888, believe it or not, or published. Excuse me, published in 1888. So it must have been written around about that sort of time. So it's an old tune, but it always sounds to me as if it could have been written yesterday. It's really kind of got a modern feel to it, and it's a bit of classical guitar, and I've been doing a bit of that during lockdown really. It's something I sort of studied. I'd had a go at when I first started playing guitar many moons ago, but kind of left it behind when I discovered electricity and Fender Strats and stuff like that. But over lockdown I've been getting back into a bit of the old classical stuff, so I thought I'd put it out there tonight and just see how it went. And I might have another one for you later on in the set. I've also been fairly sort of retrospective, I guess, over the lockdown period, and playing stuff by Jackson C. Frank and Burt Yanch and stuff like that. So I thought I'd give you a few of those songs tonight as well. And this is one of them. Combining both Burt Yanch and Jackson C. Frank. It's Blues Run the Game, and written by Jackson C. Frank, of course, but recorded and made fairly famous, I think, by Burt Yanch. Became one of his standards, and this is kind of a version of it anyway. Maybe to Spain, wherever I have gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I have gone, the blues are all the same. Send out for whiskey, baby, send out for gin, me and room service, honey, me and room service, mama, me and room service have been living a life of sin. When I'm not drinking, baby, you're on my mind. When I'm not sleeping, honey, when I'm not sleeping, mama, when I'm not sleeping, well, you know, you'll find me crying. Try another city, baby, another town. Wherever I've gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I've gone, the blues come following down. Living is a gamble, baby, and loving's much the same. Wherever I've played, wherever I've thrown them dice, wherever I've played the blues, have run the game. Maybe tomorrow, maybe somewhere down the line, I'll wake up older, so much older, mama. I'll wake up older and I'll just stop on my trying. So catch a boat to England, baby, maybe to Spain. Wherever I've gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I've gone, the blues have run the game. Blues Run the Game, Jackson C. Frank, from his one and only album, released back in 1970, I think it was. While we're on it, I might as well do the other one off the album that I really like. It's Milk and Honey. I've played it for years, ever since the album was first released. But recently, over the last few years, a lot of other people seem to have picked up on it. There's been lots of really good versions out there. Raddy Pete did a fantastic version a little while ago, and several others as well. But I'll just stick to the one I know and cheer it out for you tonight. This is Milk and Honey. Gold on silver is the autumn, soft and tender are the skies. Yes and no are the answers written in my true love's eyes. Autumn's leaving and winter's coming. I think that I'll be moving along. I've got to leave her and find another. I've got to sing my heart's true song. Round and round this burning circle, all the seasons, 1, 2, and 3. Autumn comes, and then the winter. Spring is born, and wanders free. Gold on silver burns my autumn all too soon. They fade and die, and then there are no others. Milk and honey were their lives. Couple of tunes there. Still in my my 70s time warp. The first one was Mississippi Blues, which actually predates the 70s, but I first heard that by a former American guitarist Stephen Grossman back in the 70s. And the second one, of course, was Angie, Davy Graham's Angie, although I didn't hear it first by him. I heard Bert Jansch cover that the first time around. But a great little tune, drag it out from time to time. And yeah, just fun to play, really. So I've got one more song from the 70s. Excuse me. Just grab a cup of tea, because I've got to sing now, and the voice is a bit croaky, but hey ho. Cheers, rock and roll lifestyle. See. So this song. This song is a Michael Chapman song from his album Fully Qualified Survivor, and fantastic album full of fantastic songs, and I think it's probably one of my favourites from it, but it's a difficult one to pick because there's so many of them. But anyway, this is Rabbit Hills. Well, it's a long, long road from here down to the sea, and it's the only thing that keeps your love with me. Where the waters meet the trees, and the long grass turns to sand, the bluebirds kiss the stones like jewels in your hand. Or is it my imagination again? Well, at the end of the road, there's a clearing in the shade, and it's there many times my love and I have laid. Now the past disappeared, and the garden's overgrown, but at least it was somewhere for us to call our own. Or was it my imagination again? The water looks so cold today, I sit beyond the hill and conjure up old memories like motion picture stills, waiting for the tide to rise and wash away all trace of my footsteps on the beach and etch away your face. so cold today, I sit beyond the hill and conjure up old memories like motion pictures still, waiting for the tide to rise and wash away all trace of my footsteps on the beach and etch away your face. Well, it's a long, long road from here down to the sea, and it's the only thing that keeps your love with me, where the waters meet the trees and the long grass turns to sand, the bluebirds kiss the waves, stones like jewels in your hand. Or is it my imagination again? Or is it my imagination again? Or is it my imagination again? Rabbit Hills, and that's the last 70s one you'll get from me tonight. So we're going to move on, and we're going to go back further in time, really. When I was a lad, learning to play guitar, it was a very masculine thing. Playing guitar was the male prerogative. Thankfully, times have changed, we've all moved on. And there are some fabulous women guitar players out there these days. Molly Tuttle has moved Appalachian flat picking onto a whole new different level. And back in this country, one of my current guitar heroes is Jen Butler from Scotland. She's a superb guitarist, does things rhythmically and harmonically that you've got to hear to believe, really. So this next song is kind of inspired by her, and it's a sea shanty. It's South Australia, and it's a kind of funk jazz version of it, and it's quite difficult to sing along to. So sea shanty purists out there, I apologise. You're probably not going to like it, but it's great fun to play and it's great fun to sing. So I'm going to give it a go. In South Australia I was born, heave away, haul away. In South Australia round Cape Horn, I'm bound South Australia. Haul away, rolling kings, heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound South Australia. When I was born in fair, heave away, haul away. It's there I met Miss Nancy Blair. We're bound South Australia. Haul away, rolling kings, heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound South Australia. I took her up, I took her down, heave away, haul away. I took her all around this town. South Australia, all away, rolling kings, heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing about South Australia. Well, there's one Cool, love it. A cup of tea, I think. Time for a change of instrument. Okay, quick guitar change. This next song was written by Rob Johnson, who you may or may not have heard of. If you haven't, check him out. He writes some fantastic stuff. And this is a unashamedly romantic little tale. It's called The Big Wheel. Well, we met at the fairground, the way that you do. I wasn't looking, and neither were you. I aimed for the jackpot and missed by a mile. Everything's crooked, even your smile. And all the while, the big wheel was turning round and round, round and round. And all of its accidents waiting to happen, the big wheel was turning around. Well, it was nothing dramatic, just too much too soon. You wanted the sunlight, I wanted the moon. And when I look back, you were too far away to hear the words I wouldn't say. And all the while, the big wheel was turning round and round, round and round. With all of its accidents waiting to happen, the big wheel was turning around. So I gave up on fairgrounds and life carried on. Dying for love only happens in old songs, with our angst and nostalgia, famine and war. No one believes much in love anymore. And all the while, the big wheel was turning round and round, round and round. With all of its accidents waiting to happen, the big wheel was turning around. Then I passed this old fairground, the wheel was the same. All that had changed was your face and your name. You were not a day older, the years fell apart. You looked over your shoulder, straight into my heart. And all the while, the big wheel was turning round and round, round and round. With all of its accidents waiting to happen, the big wheel was turning around. And all the while, the big wheel was turning round and round, round and round. With all of its accidents waiting to happen, the big wheel was turning around. The big wheel was turning around. The big wheel was turning around. There's a pretty one. 500,000 English pounds for this old house and a piece of ground. You and your wife had always planned to settle down in Cotswold land, where you best come in and you best sit down. It's such a long drive from London town. Would you like some tea while I tell the reason why I will not sell? was gained at far too high a price for me to gaily sign away what others taught for night and day. Where they hammered bluestone by the yard, and they found the rent when times were hard, and they lived and died beneath the sun, tending the fields you're gazing on. They're all gone, but as for me, the wild hare still runs as free, and at dusk the badger travels still, ancestral highways on the hill. Well, I am as Cotswold bred as these, and I still need these fields and trees, and I need the soil that bore my race, and hold their bones beneath this place. You say you'll pay 500 grand for this old house and a piece of land. Well, London's about 4 hours for me, only 4x4. You'll do it in 3. That one was written by Chris Wood, taken from a poem by Cotswold poet Frank Mansell, and terrific song, and quite relevant these days in the wake of the COVID kind of epidemic, where many people from town and cities are quite understandably wanting to move to a countryside retreat away from it all, and so bringing its own problems with it. You know, not too much room left for the locals. Contentious stuff, but there we go. This one, next one is a good old Bobby Dylan song. It wouldn't be a solo set for me without a bit of Dylan in it. So it's the times they are changing, and it's a song which seems to be relevant whenever you pick it up and you perform it. It doesn't matter whether it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or indeed today. It's always a relevant song to me. So. Bit of Bob. Gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, expecting that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the time they are a-changing. if the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorways, don't block up the hall. The eagle gets hurt, but the eagle was stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the time they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. The old road is rapidly fading. Please get out of the new one if you can lend a hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, and the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly changing, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. And the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. The order I tend to do songs is in order of capo ascension. You may have noticed during the set, because it saves having to retune too much. So others may go for this kind of artistic balance, but me, no, I just keep moving up the neck till I've got as high as I need to go. Another little sea song, which I slip into the set now and again. Actually, a lot of these songs are ones that I've been playing during these Zoom sessions. I host a little kind of folk club every Tuesday night on good old Zoom, and a lot of these songs are songs that I've kind of slipped in over the weeks whilst I've been doing that, or we've been doing that. So, and I did this one last week actually, but hey, never mind. It's one more day. Leaving here tomorrow, Johnny, one more day. Can you leave her without sorrow, Johnny? One more day. It's one more day, my Johnny, one more day. Oh, come rock and roll me over, Johnny, one more day. Now's the time to leave her, Johnny, one more day. Did you swear you'd not deceive her, Johnny, one more day? It's one more day, my Johnny, one more day. Oh, come rock and roll me over, Johnny, one more day. Should she ever doubt you, One more day she would break her heart without you, Johnny. One more day. It's one more day, my Johnny. One more day. Oh, come rock and roll me over, Johnny. One more day. Come and roll me to my lover, Johnny. One more day, and the stars will be our cover, Johnny. One more day. It's one more day, my Johnny. One more day. Oh, come rock and roll me over, Johnny. One more day. It's one more day, my Johnny. One more day. Oh, come rock and roll me over, Johnny. One more day. Okay, well, thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for tuning in. It's going to be a cracking rest of the night. There's some great music coming up, and I know you're gonna love it. But please remember, we're here to enjoy ourselves, but also to try and raise a bit of money for Quay Arts. So if you can find it in your hearts to donate or buy a t-shirt. I should have worn a t-shirt, really. I do have one. The Quay Arts Folk Club t-shirt is a joy to behold. So you can always buy one of those instead, or as well as a donation if it comes to that. So I've got one more little tune to play for you, which requires a bit of a change of guitar. So I'll do a little magical cut to get us into that. But it's The Ashokan Farewell, which is of course written by Joe Unger for the violin originally, but I can't play violin. You've got somebody on later on who can really play violin, but I don't fall into that category even remotely. So I've done a little transcription of it for classical guitar, and I'm going to finish on that. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the evening, and see you later. Cheers, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and don't forget, donate to Quay Arts. See you soon.
Oh, wonderful there. I could listen to John play all night. Great stuff there. Thank you, John. John Hacker. Well, we move now into the part of the evening where we feature short floor spots from some of those good folks who are regulars at our local folk clubs. And first up, someone a bit like John Hacker, who does a huge amount to promote and support folk music. As well as being a great singer, she runs the Folk on White website and Facebook pages, which keeps us all informed and up to date on everything that's happening in the folk and dance worlds on the island. And she's also a virtuoso player of that little known folk instrument, the fruit bowl. If you've not heard one before, just hang in there. You're going to greatly enjoy listening to Debbie Dwyke. Take it away, Debbie.
Hello everyone. Thank you, John Bentley, for asking me to record this. I thought, as we can't go anywhere, we might take a little trip somewhere. So I thought perhaps we'd go to America first. This is an American song called Old Time Religion. I heard it in a folk club in Leicester, but I didn't like the words. It got me thinking, what was religion like in the very early days? So this is my version of Old Time Religion, or actually very, very, very old time religion. Old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me if the sun rises every morning, if the sun rises every morning, if the sun rises every morning, that's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. If the stars shine bright above me, if the stars shine bright above me, if the stars shine bright above me, that's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. Peace and harmony won't hurt us, peace and harmony won't hurt us, peace and harmony won't hurt us, so they're good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. Love and laughter, joy and music, love and laughter, joy and music, love and laughter, joy and music, they're good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me, it's good enough for me. I said that's good enough for me. We're home again. I'd like to sing you Sarah Morgan's Celtic Blessing. It seems to be very appropriate for times like these. Warm be the sun that shines upon you. Soft be the winds as they breathe on you. Smooth be the roads that rise before you. Keep you in peace till we meet again. May you have shelter in storm to hide you. May you have stars in the night to guide you. May you have ever a friend beside you. Keep you in peace till we meet again. Warm be the sun that shines upon you. Soft be the winds as they breathe on you. Smooth be the roads that rise before you. Keep you in peace till we meet again. May you not lack for good bread to feed you. May you not lack for good hope to speed you, and for your singing a heart to heed you, keep you in peace till we meet again. Warm be the sun that shines upon you, soft be the winds as they breathe on you, smooth be the roads that rise before you, keep you in peace till we meet again, keep you in peace till we meet again. If you haven't seen this instrument before, it's called a melody bowl, made out of yew. It was designed and made by Tobias Kay. It's quite a work of art. I'll show you the other side of it. Tobias's instruments have the strings enclosed within the bowl. I don't know if you can see, the wood rises around the strings. So it gives them some very interesting acoustics and properties. And it can be plucked or it can be played like a hammer dulcimer. Now, we went to America, we've come back home, and then I think we should go to Australia next. So I'm going to sing you a traditional Australian lullaby about fish. Come all you bold fishermen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. The crew are asleep, the ocean's at rest. There's a song in my heart for the one I love best. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Their ship's underway, the weather is fine. Skipper's out aft, putting out extra lines. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Little fish, when he's caught, fights like a bull whale, thrashes the water with his mighty tail. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. There's fish in the sea, ain't no doubt about it, as good as the ones that have ever come out of it. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. The crew are asleep, the ocean's at rest. There's a song in my heart for the one I love best. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Little fishes swim east, little fishes swim west. I'm singing this song for the one I love best. Hey ho, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. 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 thanks for listening to 3 of my favourite songs. Thanks to my friend John Wood for recording me. Give him a wave, John. I hope by the end of today, Quay Arts Supremo will be capering about with fistfuls of £20 notes, shouting, "We're rich, we're rich." Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thanks, Debbie Dwyke. Lovely stuff. You can put the fruit back in the bowl now. Anyway, our next floor singer is also well known in our local clubs, folk clubs. What might not be so well known though is that this guy had quite a distinctly glamorous sporting background. Did you know he was one of the country's finest speedway riders? There you go. He started out riding on his local rubbish tip and then moved into competitive racing, I think in 1959, I think it was. He went on to ride for quite a few different teams during his career and twice represented Britain. Amazing. There he is. That's in his dear old George in his speedway days. Now, back in those days, he did pick up quite a few injuries, but surprisingly though, even though he now plays a banjo, no one's injured him for that. Must be because he's such a darn good singer and player and all-round top bloke. So please, a big welcome, George Major.
Hello, good to be here. And I'd like to thank the 2 Johns for inviting me to take part in this little show during these strange times we find ourselves in. Being one of the vulnerable, I've settled to this lockdown lot fairly well. Of course, when you're getting on a bit, it comes easy to spend time sitting and looking back on the past. And my first song is about exactly that. Sometimes at night, when I'm all alone, and the sounds of the day fade away, alone in my room with my memories. The winds of yesterday blow on me. I hear country music on the radio. The way that it was a long time ago. And the sound of mama singing comes whispering through the trees. When the winds of yesterday blow on me. I see a moon so bright over cotton fields of white, and the fragrance of magnolia ride the breeze, and that little touring school where I learned the golden way. When the winds of yesterday blow on me, I see children at the old swimming hole, and fishing on the river with an old cane pole. Each memory is so dear, each face still so clear. When the winds of yesterday blow on me. I hear the choir sing, how their voices ring, and I remember the words to each song. And that old preacher man once more puts my heart at ease. When the winds of yesterday blow on me, yeah, the winds of yesterday blow on me. Thank you. This next song was written by Steve Knightley and performed by his wonderful band Show of Hands. It was written before these times of this terrible virus, but I think it fits the situation very well. It's called You'll Get By. You build a life together, and it's shattered to the core. Once again you're gathering up the pieces. Your ship has come untethered, you're drifting free once more. And the ever-raging storm, it never ceases. Summon up your strength, lean upon the oar. I'm sending you a dove, now strike out for the shore. You'll get by, you always do. For the wind that shakes the barley never touches you. Come on, sister, brother, don't you cry. You don't know it now, but you'll get by. When your best is not accepted, you cry for help unheard, and all around unkindness gets rewarded. Your hopes and plans rejected, you're forced to join the herd, as cynical indifference is applauded. You have walked this road before, you can walk it once again. Why should it break you now? 'Cause it didn't break you then. You'll get by, you always do. For the wind that shakes the barley never touches you. Come on, sister, brother, don't you cry. You don't know it now, but you'll get by. You're bruised but unbroken, you're blooded but unbound, unsteady on your feet, but still standing. It's not the fame or the fortune or the raptures of the crowd. you're fighting for respect and understanding. Castle walls are falling, life's thieves are at the gate to take away our rights and our choices. False prophets are calling, singing out hymns of hate, silencing the land with siren voices. But the bully and the braggart, let's drag them from their thrones. We don't need their savage songs, 'cause we're strong enough alone. You'll get by, you always do. For the wind that shakes the barley never touches you. Come on, sister, brother, don't you cry. You don't know it now. You don't know it now. You don't know it now, but you'll get by. You don't know it now, but you'll get by. Thank you. For my final song, it's a song written by John Prine, who sadly became a victim of the COVID-19. This song was written in happier times and displays John's wicked sense of humour. Woke up this morning, put on my slippers, walked in the kitchen and died. And oh, what a feeling as my soul rose through the ceiling. Onward up to heaven I did ride. When I got there they did say, George, it happened this way. You slipped upon the floor and hit your head. Now all the angels say just before you passed away, these were the very last words that you said. Oh, please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Oh, throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both my ears if they don't mind the sound. Now give my stomach to a brewery, should they run out of beer. Put my socks in the cedar box, just get 'em out of here. Venus de Milo can have my arms, look out, I got your nose. Sell my heart to the junk man and give my love to Rose. But please don't bury me down in that cold, cold ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both my ears if they don't mind the song. Give my feet to the footloose, careless and fancy free. Give my knees to the needy, don't pull that stuff on me. Hand me down my walking cane, it's a sin to tell a lie. Send my mouth way down south and kiss my ass goodbye. But please don't bury me down in the cocoa ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes. Deaf can take both my ears if they don't mind the sight. No, please don't bury me down in that cocoa ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes. Deaf can take both my ears if they don't mind the sight. Hey, thank you. Bye.
George Major, thank you. Great to hear. And just goes to show that in the right hands, even a banjo can sound great. So thank you, George. Anyway, before introducing our next performer, we'd just like to remind you all about supporting Quay Arts. Please donate what you can in return for enjoying this evening's music. Well, now, our next performer did a spot for us last month, and we enjoyed it so much we asked her back. She's a storyteller, and a fine one at that. And of course, folk song and folk tales are very closely related. Tales, like songs, are often passed down the generations, and both are best listened to rather than being read. And of course, a good story works on many levels and tends to stay with the listener. But whatever you feel, I know you're going to enjoy once again the wonderful storytelling of Sue Bailey. Thank you, Sue.
This is a story I heard told by Tristan Langley, and it is a 14th century story, and the subject matter is as relevant today as it was then. It's called The Peasant's Heart. There was once a peasant, and he was groaning and rolling around in agony, feeling that his end was nigh. He was moved to his wooden bed, and his family were gathered around him, and the local priest was called, and the wails and groans of pain from this man, as his distended belly gave him such grief, could be heard in both heaven and in hell. But in heaven, St. Peter said, "Oh, that is the moans and groans of a man whose spirit is likely to leave him soon. But it won't be coming up here, oh no. Heaven is not for the likes of him. I suspect he will be going to the other place." And indeed, in the other place, Beelzebub summoned his little demons around him, and he said, "Oh, there is the sound of a peasant who may be breathing his last soon, and we will be taking his soul. Now, who should we send for this job?" And he looked around, and he saw the smallest demon, and he said, "Go and collect the soul of the peasant." And so this small demon, who was basically really an apprentice and fairly new to the job, went down, or up even, and joined the mortal world, and joined the collection of people gathered around the poor peasant's bed, where it lay with a guttering flame, and the wailing of all the people who were expecting his last moments to be there soon. And the poor man himself his belly was taut, and I have to tell you, actually, he had a very rich meal the night before, a meal of beef and beans and artichokes and maybe some figs, and his belly was protesting and was very tight with something that we may call indigestion, wind. But this poor man, he thought his death was near. His time on the mortal planet was very soon to end. And his soul, well, was waiting to be collected. And the smallest demon, well, he went to the head of the bed, but he realised, of course, that the spirit, the wind that maybe ascends to the heavens with a deep sigh as the peasant would leave, his soul would leave the body, was not like to come out through his mouth, because he wasn't due to go to heaven, but indeed his soul was likely to come out from his nether regions. And so he moved round to the bottom of the bed and waited. And there was a rumble, as if summer thunder in the distance growing, as if the sound of cows running across a field to new grass, as if there was a train coming in the distance. The thunder and the rumble and the noise grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and the small demon got ready to collect the soul, and all of a sudden this man's guts, it let loose the biggest, loudest fart you have ever heard. And that little demon, it grabbed his bag and he collected that wind and he tied it up tightly and he hurried away with the soul of the peasant, and he made his way to the stairs that led down to hell, and he threw that bag down, and the bag, when it landed at the bottom in hell, it split open and out came all that wind, and the other demons down there were going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what is that?" And Beelzebub himself, he looked around and he roared, "What in hell is that?" And the smallest demon said, well, it's the soul of the peasant that I just collected. And Beelzebub said, "Well, that peasant's soul may not be going up to heaven, but it sure as hell is not staying here, because that peasant's soul stinks." And so it is to this day. The souls of the peasant, and probably the likes of you and I, well, we may not go up to the place up there, but we're not likely to go down to the place below either. This story I heard told by Dave Tongue, and is called The Wise Fool, and it is another medieval story. There was once an itinerant storyteller, a jester, a juggler, who travelled around the country telling tales and singing songs and earning his keep in such way. And he was quite boastful as to his skills. But one day he heard about a king, and this king, oh yes, he too was boastful, and he had said that if anybody could solve a certain puzzle, then he could have half his kingdom. Well, being an itinerant can be good, but the idea of having half a kingdom was also very attractive, and so this troubadour, this storyteller, made his way to the kingdom where this wise king lived. Now, this wise king, he had paid advisors, teachers, professors to impart all their knowledge to him, and was confident that he was wiser than anybody. And the fool, well, storyteller, said, "Go on then, give me your puzzle, and I will solve it." And the king, he said, "Okay, I will give you half my kingdom if you can solve this puzzle." And he reached for a stick, and he drew a long line in the sand. And he said to the fool, "If you can make this line shorter without touching it, then I will give you half my kingdom. No, indeed, I will give you my whole kingdom. But if you can't solve it, then your head will be forfeit." And so the wise fool, he looked at the line, and he looked at the king, and he thought, and some of you may be thinking, what would he do? Would he maybe blow on the sand to make the line short? But then his breath would be touching the line. Would he maybe put his shadow so that it fell on the line? No, because you could say that a shadow is actually touching the line. He thought, but he soon realised the answer. And so he took the same stick that the king had used to draw his line. And next to the king's line, he drew another line, a longer line. And as he handed the stick back to the king, he said, "Your Majesty, I have made your line shorter." And as to what happened next, well, that's another story. Did the king give his kingdom? I wonder. I'd like to hope so. And maybe the king has now gone travelling and is a storyteller who might be coming to visit near you now.
Sue Bailey there. Thanks, Sue. I do love a good story, and I did love those. Thank you. Well, our final performer in the Floor Singer spot is it's an old pal of mine. We play together in the Chain Ferry Gang, and we're both in Gwyth Morris. Sadly, though, we've not been able to gig or dance since March. Gloomy, sad face. Eel moment. What's that, eel? Ah, of course, there's eels, just reminded me. All is not lost. Thanks to the wonders of the interweb, we can still enjoy his many musical talents and his angelic voice. And, as you'll hear, he's gradually giving in to my influence and getting to love a good, miserable song. Wonderful. Now, some know him as Peter Turmeric, others know him as Peter Ellis, but either way, please give him a big welcome. Take it away, Peter Ellis.
Greetings, key fuggers. Haven't had lessons from Johnny on how to do miserable songs. So, well, I'm going to attempt two miserable ones, and one's just horrific. And so, starting off with a miserable one, just to remind us that COVID isn't the worst of it. This is one on global warming. It's called Where We Stand. Don't let the little gentle tune sort of lull you into a false sense of security. A hard rain is falling and the floods are a torrent. The furniture is floating in a brown scum of stew. And I'm standing here and I'm confused about there's something, the best thing to do. I pull my hand up to look, listen and learn. Where do I stand? The ice sheets are melting into a slurry of plastic that's fattened the fish I have on my plate. If I walk well, I'm soon at the sea. Should I wait, it may come up to me. So hands up to turn this old ship around. We need a hand. Yeah, now hands up to turn this old ship around. We need a hand. Been standing in the hallway while they lobby in the halls, and the black stuff keeps moving, pumping juice out my walls. I'm not looking for a bullet or a gun, 'cause I've heard that there's no take this world in our hands and make a stand. I need a hand on the wheel, I need a corner to turn, or will my drowned wit confine me to light my own urn? Youngsters call for a new song to share, sit in silence, sweet contentment to hear. Hands up to burn, hands up to drown, away you stand. Yeah, now hands up to burn, hands up to drown, away you stand. So hands up to care, take this world in our hands and make a plan. Yeah, hands up to care, take this world in our hands and make a stand. This horrific little number's called Boys of Bedlam. For to see my Tom of Bedlam, 10,000 miles I've traveled, mad modeling goes on dirty toes. To save her shoes from the gravel, still I sing bunny boys, money mad boys. Oh, Bedlam boys, they're bunny, and they all go bare and they live by the ear. And they want no drink, no money. I went down to Satan's kitchen for to get me food one morning, and there I spied souls piping hard, all on the speeder turning. Still I sing bunny boys, bunny mad boys. The Bedlam boys, they're bunny, and they all go bare and they live by the year. And they want no drink, no money. My staff has murdered giants, and my bag of long knife carries for to cut mince pies from children's thighs, for which to feed the fairies. Still I sing bunny boys, bunny mad boys. The Bedlam boys, they're bunny, and they all go bare and they live by the year. And they want no drink, no money. A spirit hard as lightning did on that journey guide me. The sun did shake and the pale moon creep as soon as they espied me. Still I sing bunny boys, money mad boys. The Bedlam boys, boys, they're bunny, and they all go bare, and they live by the year. And they want no drink, no money, want no drink, no money, they want no drink, no money. So drink to Tom Bill, go fill the seas and barrels, I'll drink it all brewed with gold. And maudlin drunk I'll quarrel, still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, oh Bill and boys, they're bonny. And they all go bare and they live by the year, and they want no drink, no money, want no drink, no money. When that I have murdered the man in the moon to a powder, his stuff I'll break and his dog I'll shave, and the hound no demon louder, still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, oh Bill and boys, they're bonny, and they all go bare and they live by the year. When they want no drink, no money, want no drink, no money, want no drink, no money, want no drink, no money. Still I sing money boys, still I sing money boys. Terrible stuff. By request, I'm going to play you one on the banjo now, and it's 100 years old, made in 1920. This taken the back off to make it lighter, but it's made out of brass, and it weighs a ton, absolute ton. Needed help to get it up on the ramp. So anyway, two of my boys live in Bristol, and this song relates to recent history there when Edward Colston, the statue of Edward Colston, went for a little dip in the river. I'm sure you remember the story. So Ed, long dead, he went swimming instead, and he sank to the bottom of the sea. Could there be a better time to go swimming in the brine? 'Cause it's not the bronze we need, no, it's the freedom to breathe. There are plenty of ghosts we could conjure up to toast, but those with long shadows move away from the light. Oh, 'cause I'd rather my sons looked up to someone who knew better the value of life. So Ed, long dead, went swimming instead, and he sank to the bottom of the sea. Could there be a better time to go swimming in the brine? 'Cause it's not the bronze we need, no, just the freedom to breathe. So Ad, I married quite contrary. How does your garden grow? With sweat and flesh every bit as good as the rest, but with eyes that would never see home. tossed at the foot of old Perrault's bridge to lay alongside the trolley back and fridge. It's not really a celebration or not a decoration, but just the frustration with the wasting of life. So at quite contrary, how did your garden go? With sweat and flesh every bit as good as the rest, but with eyes that will never see home, and with breath that was never really their own. Ed, long dead. Well, I hope they find something more uplifting to put in his place.
Peter Ellis, wonderful stuff there. Thank you, Peter. Well, now, what can you say about our headline guest? I think to start with, well, I feel possibly humbled to be able to have her here performing for us tonight because, well, she's right proper folk royalty. I first heard her many moons ago in the late 1980s, I think it was, at the Cambridge Folk Festival, when, as a young teenager, she played with her legendary family. Since then, she's grown and developed into a folk musician of great stature and importance. She's that rare thing, someone beloved of both folk traditionalists and modernisers alike. She effortlessly crosses boundaries of style and musical genre and has been and still is a huge influence on countless folk and world music performers. She's won many awards over the years and played in some of our top-rated folk bands. 2015, she received a richly deserved MBE for services to folk music. I last saw her, lucky to see her, when she played to a packed house in Freshwater Memorial Hall last year, together with her dad, the amazing Martin Carthy. But anyway, before I finally shut up and let her get on with it, there's one final thing to mention. A little bird tells me that today is also her birthday. So happy birthday and a big, big welcome to the wonderful, the one and only Eliza Carthy.
Hi. Hello, Dwyke. This is Eliza Carthy here. In a church, chapel, Old Wesleyan Chapel in Robinhood's Bay, for which we have to thank Andy Kingham, who is the owner. It's an absolutely lovely place. This is the place where we recorded Anchor, the album with my mum and the Gift Band. Anyway, it's really nice to imagine all of you on the Isle of Wight while I'm singing to an empty church. But I'm going to sing you a few songs, and I hope you're having a lovely time. I hope you're having a lovely festival, even virtually, because we all need this at the moment, don't we? So I'm going to sing a song. Okay. Since we're by the sea, I'm going to start with this. There was a young maiden who lived all alone. She lived all alone on the shore. Oh, there was naught she could find that would comfort her mind, but to roam all alone on a shore, shore, shore. But to roam all alone on the shore. There was a young captain who sailed the salt sea. Let the wind blow high or blow low. I'll die, this young captain did cry, if I don't get the maid on a shore, shore, shore. If I don't get that maid on the shore. Well, I've got lots of silver, I've got lots of gold, I've got lots of costly ware. Oh, I'll divide, this young captain did cry, if you bring me the maid on a shore, shore, shore. If you bring me that maid from the shore. So with long persuading they brought him on board. Let the wind blow high and blow low. sorrows and care. The night being so still and the water so calm, like the wind blow high and blow low. She sang charming and sweet, she sang neat and complete, she sang sailors and captain to sleep, sleep, sleep. She sang sailors and captain to sleep. Then she robbed him of silver, she robbed him of gold, she robbed him of costly wear, and she stole his broadsword for to make her an oar, and she rowed herself back to the shore, 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 and she rowed herself back to shore. Well, were my men stupid, or were my men drunk? Or were my men deep in despair? Oh, to let you away with your booty so gay, for to roam once again on the shore, 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 for to roam once again on the shore. No, your men, they weren't stupid, your men, they weren't drunk. Your men weren't so deep in despair, oh, I deleted your sailors as well as yourself. I'm a maiden once more on the shore, shore, shore. I'm a maiden once more on the shore. There you go. So you want to get you started off in church. It's so funny doing all this internet stuff. I sort of kind of looked at it a bit nervously to start with, like, oh, I'm really not sure about this. And then we've had little bits and pieces of fun here and there. The Restitute, through that sound, My Secret Was Made Known live band was supposed to go on tour on the 1st of April. That turned out to be an April Fool. But we have done a few videos, so I have a YouTube, which you can go and watch them on. We also have a Coffee account if you want to make a little donation to us. That's coffee.com/Eliza Carthy. You can make a little donation to us there. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. There's lots of very silly content for you to enjoy, and also some quite lovely stuff as well that the boys in the band put together. So yeah, do go and have a look at that. I don't know where to launch into the miserable stuff yet, because I've got quite a lot of that and I don't want to tire you out. I'll tell you what, I'll do you this. This is from, what was it, last summer before last. I was working at Shakespeare's Globe with a director, Barry Rutter OBE, and we did a production of Shakespeare and Fletcher's The Two Noble Kinsmen. I'll give you a little bit of background about it because it informs the song. Basically, two soldiers, two cousins, they get imprisoned by the Duke Theseus, having fought in a war against him. And they're both so excellent that he can't bear himself to kill them, so he keeps them in a prison overlooking a garden where they both catch sight of this incredibly beautiful woman whose name is Amelia. She's one of Shakespeare's Amelias. And they fall out over her, having been lifelong bros and having this beautiful bromance and declaring that they're never going to fall out with each other. They see this woman and it all ends for them, and it all ends very sadly. The tune I'm going to play you is something I composed to open the second half. It's called Second Half Opener. And the song that follows it is Amelia's song, where she is appealing to the goddess Diana to make the choice for her, or in fact to discharge her from the choice altogether. She's praying to the goddess Diana to release her from having to choose between these two guys. So, I don't know, 16th century problems. Okay, so this second half opener and Amelia's song. Here we go. Sacred, cold, and constant Queen, lend ear to my petition. Chaste and mute as wind fans snow, I am guiltless of election. The flowers fell, I shall be gathered, with no more blood than makes a blush. Sacred silver mistress, choose these brave pretenders are equal precious. Dischargest me, oh, holy fear of vestal office. Dischargest me, I am a bride, but maiden-hearted. I think I'm going to go for a sad one. Am I? Yeah. Okay, let's do some Kipling. I was asked to learn this song by Joni Crump of the Hartlepool Folk Festival, and me and my dad learned it for a production of the Barrack Room Ballads that we did for her, one of her amazing productions. And we also sang it in this very church with the Gift Band. We're all missing each other very, very much. When we came in here, we recorded this in November, not last year, the year before. And we came in, it's used for various things, this church, but yeah, I came in, the organ, which you can't see, is just up here to my left. And it still works. And the bonus track that we recorded, Will Your Anchor Hold in the Storms of Life, We Have an Anchor. I went upstairs to have a look around yesterday, and the music's still sitting on the music stand. So that was a lovely thing. It was a good excuse to get back in touch with them and say hi. Anyway, I'm going to sing you this. It's from the Barrack Room Ballads, and it's called The Widow's Party. Where have you been this while away, Johnny, Johnny, long with the rest on a picnic lay? Johnny, my Johnny, ah. Well, they called us out of the barrack yard to God knows where from Gosport Hard, and you can't refuse when you get the card, and the widow gives the party. What did you get to eat and drink, Johnny, Johnny? Standing water as thick as ink. Johnny, my Johnny, ah. A bit of beef that were 3 years stored, and a bit of mutton as tough as a board, and a fowl we killed with a sergeant's sword, and the widow gives the party. What did you do for knives and forks, Johnny, Johnny? We carries them with us wherever we walks. Johnny, my Johnny, ah. And some was diced and some was carved, and some was gutted and some was sound. Then some was gutted and some was stout. When the widow gave the party. What have you done with half your mess, Johnny, Johnny? We couldn't do more and they wouldn't do less. Johnny, my Johnny, ah. Well, they ate their work and they drank their fill, but I think the rations has made a mill for half of my company's lying still. When the widow gives the party. How did you get away, away, Johnny, Johnny, on the broad of my back at the end of the day? Johnny, my Johnny, ah. Well, I come away like a bleeding tough, 'cause they got 4 blokes to carry me off as I lay in the body till the canvas trough. When the widow give the party. Now what was the end of all the show? Johnny, Johnny, ask my colonel, for I don't know. Johnny, my Johnny, ah. Well, we killed a king and we built a road, and a courthouse stands where the regiment go, and the river's clean where the road blood flowed. When the widow give the party. I thought about doing this next one. Really haven't sung in a long time. I just thought it'd make a nice change. One of the very first people to give me a job was Billy Bragg, who took me out on the road with him a few times. The most memorable being in 1997. When Labour got in, he had one of his famous swingometer parties. Remember that being a very, very optimistic summer. But yeah, I've always been grateful to Billy for that. And also sort of being on the Mermaid Avenue albums with him and Wilco, travelling all over the country, and eventually working in Imagine Village together with him, which was a real experience too. So he's one of my favourite songwriters and a very nice man. So I'm going to sing you this. This is King James version. Seemed appropriate. He was trapped in a court he no longer believed in. She says, I'm a teacher here. I teach the children right. Nothing goes right for the world that we were born in. Oh, the horizon is bright because yonder comes the morning. Upstairs they're going stairway to heaven, and down here in the garden we're changing sticks into snakes, and the jangle of religious medals would put the fear of God into angels. Come, come all ye faithful, or it looks like a drift to the right for the world that we were born in. Oh, the horizon is bright because yonder comes the morning. Let's see this one. The Massachusetts singer and banjo player, fiddle player, guitarist Tim Erickson and I made a record together about 5-6 years ago now called Bottle. And Bottle is named after this particular song. We were looking for well, rude stuff, frankly, in a collection of rude, bawdy songs called Pills to Purge Melancholy. It's kind of older stuff than the kind of 17th, 18th, 19th century style songs I normally sing. But yeah, we sort of went through the various things, and we picked up on a bit of a theme. And the theme was lady and gentleman get together, they have some bants, you know, and then they have a good time. And then she goes, oh, what's your name? And he goes, hee! And basically runs off, and then she either gets pregnant or dies or gets shot because someone thinks she's a bird or something. And we got a bit bored of that, and we thought, you know what, this song is 500 years old, it's about time she had a break. So in this one, they lady and gentleman, get together, meet, nice time happens, and then she has a jolly and gets home in time for tea. So here you go, no harm, no foul. So this is called Bottle, anyway. A shepherd kept sheep on a hillside, fa la 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 la. There came a pretty girl passing him by, fa la 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 la. Shepherd says she didn't want of a wife, thanks all the sun, I'm not weary of life yet, la la la, la 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 la. Shepherd, for you I care less than a fly, then fa la 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 la. You're having the bottle, the women's alive, fa la 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 la. Oh, then my darling, if you will say so, you can taste of my bottle before that you go now, fa la 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 la. Then he took her and laid her on the ground and fa la 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 la. Made her believe that the planet spun round and fa la 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 la. Oh, then my darling, look there where I spy fine pretty babies that dance in the sky. Now fa la 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 la. Now they are vanished and now they appear. Fa la 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 la. la 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 la. See how the heavens fly swifter than day now, fa la 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 la. Rise quickly, or how they will all fly away now, fa la 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 la. Rise quickly, my darling, and quickly I tell thee how the sun, moon, and stars, they're on fire in my belly. Fa la la, fa la la, la 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 la. Darling, where am I now? Showing my way. Fa la 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 la. Back to my daddy's house, top of the bay now. Fa la 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 la. If he should try me for straying too long, I'll tell him the fumes of your bottle were strong now. Fa la la, fa la la, la 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 la, fa la la, fa la la, la 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 la. I'm out of breath now. Can you hear the seagulls? We've been doing some recording here the last day, and it's basically got seagulls all over everything. It's brilliant. I remember my dad getting a review for an album that I produced of his when I lived in Scotland, and this reviewer said, "Why are there birds on this track?" And I was like, "Well, it's because we recorded the trumpet outside." What? Why are there birds on this track? I don't understand. Well, it was outside, it was a nice day, you know, so we took the trumpet player out onto the side of the hill and left him there. It was good. Okay, I'll give you another sad one, and then I've got a couple more after that for you. I'm running an archive site at the moment for the Waterson Carthy family. We've got all kinds of old merch and like lanyards, posters, stuff like that. If you want to, you know, if you want to have a signed copy of an old version of one of my dad's albums, something like that, we have a site for that, and it's called musicglue.com/Eliza-Carthy. You can go and see his t-shirts, various different things, and also my new album, Through That Sound, My Secret Was Made Known. That's it really. I'm going to sing you this beautiful Robert Burns song. Yeah. Actually, this song is on Restitute, which is my last album. You get that there too. I'm getting good at this, and it's smooth as, I tell you, honestly. It was in sweet Senegal that my foes did me and for the lands of Virginia, torn from that lovely shore, I must never see it more. Charming coast is no bitter snow and frost, like the lands of Virginia, the streams forever flow, and the flowers forever blow. I am weary, weary, oh. beg your patience for a second while I have a little retune, and I'll have 2 more songs for you. I would normally have my other fiddle with me for this, but we just thought it would take advantage of being in this beautiful space. So it's at the top of the hill. If you've been to Robin Hood's Way, you'll know what I mean. I'll sing you a song I learned from the Copper family. Me and Tim sing this one together as well. And the Coppers call it "You Seamen Bold." Tim and I, much in the spirit of Bottle, felt that the creatures in this song perhaps needed their dues, so we call it Cats and Dogs. There you go. You seamen bold, that cloudy ocean, no dangers landsmen never know. The sun goes down with an equal motion, no tongue can tell what they undergo. In dread of storm, in dread of battle, there are no but doors to run away. The thundering cannon, likewise the rattle, mark well what happened the other day. A merchant ship, long time been sailing, long time been captive on at sea. The weather being so unsettled, it brought them to extremity. Nothing on board was souls to cherish, nor could send one foot on freedom's shore. Poor fellows lay while all was starving. There's nothing left but skin and bone. Their cats and dogs, how they did eat them, their hunger being so very severe. Captain and men in one position, captain and men with an equal share. Until at last the hitch came on them, the hitch came on them right speed and like. Captain and men stood in a totter, casting out lots to know who should die. The lot it fell on one poor sailor, his family was so very great. These very words did his heart grieve sorrow, his very words did his heart regret. I'm willing to die, my brother messmates, if you to the top must do haste away. Some sail discover, while I unto the dear Lord do pray. These very words did his heart grieve sorrow, these very words did his heart regret. When a merchant ship there came a-sailing, there came a-sailing to their delight. They got broadsides, all jolly sailors, who boldly venture out on the main, and keep them free from all such trials, never to hear or like again. I just want to say, Dwyke Festival, thank you very, very, very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to just to be able to sing to people. It really is. Yeah, and I hope that we will all meet again in better times. Anybody acquired any interesting skills over lockdown? I learned how to plug a microphone in. I think that's pretty good. First time I went to one of those online singing sessions. I've been attending the Angolan sessions over Zoom. It's been great to be able to hang out with my Irish friends whilst sitting in my kitchen. The first time I went to one of those, I got all dressed up for it. I was so excited. And I went downstairs and sat in the kitchen in front of my computer. My daughter came up to me and went, "Are you wearing makeup?" I was like, yeah. I was wearing makeup and I had a nice top on and everything. And then it was like pyjama bottoms, fluffy slippers. Brilliant. We should do all sessions like that. No, we shouldn't. We won't. We'll be back in the stinky flesh. I get a lot of requests for this. This is from Anglicana, which no, I'm not going to plug in any more stuff. You know where I get it. This is from Anglicana. It's called Worcester City. It's very much about you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Thank you so much again for having us, and yeah, take care, look after each other. Bye. In Worcester City there lived a damsel Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.
Wow, phew, wasn't that great? Eliza Carthy. Thank you so much, Eliza, for recording that session for us. I hope you've had a great birthday, and please give our regards to all your extended family, particularly to your mum and dad. Well, that's it for another month. We'll be back in September the 20th at 7:30 p.m. We're planning for that to be an Island Performers Night. Details to follow, so keep your eye on Facebook. After that, and really depending on how things continue to develop with the COVID pandemic, we're then thinking of inviting another guest performer to do a spot for us in October. But we'll see how things go. But we're certainly enjoying these online evenings. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for donating to Quay Arts. If you haven't done it yet, please don't forget. And buy a Quay Arts Folk Club t-shirt as well. And finally, of course, I'd like to say a big thank you to John Hacker, not only for his guest spot, but for the technical wizardry in putting these online evenings together. So thank you to everybody that's played tonight. Stay safe out there, folks, and we'll see you all again soon. Good night.